Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. MashaAllah, brothers, once again, we're in the house of Allah, inshallah. And the Imam is already here, inshallah. So only let's try to fix ourselves in order to fill the gaps. Also, don't forget, turn off your phone, double check your phone, inshallah, during the khutbah. Double check your phone, all of us.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح حي على الفلاح الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله. Assalamu alaikum, brother, once again. Let's start to fix ourselves. Outside we don't have enough space. There's water everywhere, so let's try to fix ourselves before the khutbah, inshallah.
الحمد لله الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على محمد الأمين إمام المرسلين خاتم النبيين وسيد ولد آدم أجمعين وعلى أهله وصحبه أجمعين والتابعين إلى يوم الدين. أما بعد، رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله حق تقاته ولا تموتن إلا وأنتم مسلمون. يا أيها الناس اتقوا ربكم الذي خلقكم من نفس واحدة وخلق منها زوجها وبث منهما رجالا كثيرا ونساء واتقوا الله الذي تساءلون به والأرحام إن الله كان عليكم رقيبا. يا أيها الذين آمنوا اتقوا الله وقولوا قولا سديدا يصلح لكم أعمالكم ويغفر لكم ذنوبكم ومن يطع الله ورسوله فقد فاز فوزا عظيما. وقال الله سبحانه وتعالى في كتابه كريم بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم: له مؤقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وإذا أراد الله بقوم سوءا فلا مرد له وما لهم من دونه من وال. وقال رسول الله صلى الله عليه وسلم: خيركم من تعلم القرآن وعلمه، أو كما قال رسول الله. نسأل الله أن يجعلنا من الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات وتواصوا بالحق وتواصوا بالصبر. Alhamdulillah. We thank and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for allowing us once again to converge on this blessed day. We thank and we praise Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for creating you and I, for blessing us with the necessary faculties needed to endure, strive, survive, and enjoy to reach this point in our very lives. We thank and we praise the Creator of the heavens and the earth, the one who created that which we know of and that which we know not, for blessing us with this deen, with the sheer mercy and blessings of Islam. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to continue to bless us. We pray for peace and salutations upon our beloved Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, and upon his family, his companions, and those who follow them upon the righteous path until the day of Deen. Alhamdulillah. Today's topic is a very important topic. A topic that is not discussed much and has a direct impact on all of our lives. A topic that helps us identify from which direction we need to face after having Islam. And this is the topic of the legacy of Islam, the baton of Islam, the blessings of Islam, the legacy that Islam has left behind until it reached upon us. What are we going to do to prolong and exemplify and continue this legacy? As we know, Alhamdulillah, Islam is the one true deen. But when we say deen, people get it misconstrued. Deen does not only mean religion. Deen means a way of life. And Islam is the best way of life. The guidelines by which Islam provides for us to live is the best way to live possible. No other way, no other type of guidance, no other type of diet, no matter what it is, no matter what aspect, health, medicine, business, whatever you're applying. When it comes to Islam, the way of Islam will always be the best. But this is in theory. Practically, how can we prove this? It worked for those who came before us. As I spoke about, the legacy that Islam has left behind. And then now it is our turn to exemplify and prove this legacy. As we know, Islam started where? In Mecca. But the sunnah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in his khulq, Islam does not remain in one place. And not too long, it moved. Some migrated to Medina, some migrated to Habasha. It continues. The baton of Islam. For those of you who don't know what a baton is an object or a stick or however you want to refer to it. When people are running in races, a race that composes of more than one person per lane, when they reach their point, they pass this baton to the next person and they continue to go on to the finish line. So the baton of Islam, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala hands down from generation to generation has been passed along, as we have seen in the future. It was in Sham, it was in India, traveled throughout Europe, Asia. The baton of Islam was in Spain for 600 years. Muslims ruled Spain for 600 years. But then check this out. The moment they started to let go of the kitab of Allah, the moment they started to play with this deen, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took the baton away from them and gave it to somebody else who would take it more seriously. They started drinking, engaging in that which we cannot speak of, because they started to feel like, you know, Islam is okay, but I think I believe I can do certain other things too. And then Allah said, if that's the case, the baton has been taken away from you, and then they fell off and no longer ruled Spain. So when the baton of Islam comes to you, there is no time for play. There is no time for personal feelings. There is no time for personal objectives. When the baton of Islam is upon you, you take it as a responsibility upon you to carry out the deen and make sure that it is successful and it strives at where you live. And my brothers and sisters, today the baton of Islam is in the West. The baton of Islam is right here. The baton of Islam is in America. Right now, ain't nowhere you can practice the deen freely as we do today. How many years have you been praying Fajr? And who came to disturb you? There are Muslims right now, just to be able to practice their faith outside is an issue. Some of the things we speak about here as Muslims, do that in another country and you will get arrested. So the freedom, the benefits that this constitution gave us as Muslims allows us to practice the deen and to promote it and to convey the message to others freely, without any fear, without any doubt, without any harm, inshallah. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us among those who will do so. So the baton of Islam is here. We have the necessary tools to strive as Muslims. And when the baton of Islam is upon you, as the Muslim Ummah, there are three things that are required from you. One, to keep the vision straight. Two, benevolence in the community. And three, exemplifying and promoting excellence. These are the three things that are required from you as a Muslim to hold on to this baton and strive with it. Mess with any of these three things and the baton will be taken away from you and given it to somebody else who will take it more seriously. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has already told us, if you want to play around with the deen, if you don't want to take it serious, then it can be taken and given to those who will take it more serious. The leadership can be taken and given to those who will always be ready to do it. So do not start to feel as if the Islam cannot move on without you. Islam will continue to succeed with or without you. But whether you want to get on the train and stay clear of the closing doors, please, then that is up to you. Number one, keeping the vision straight. A good example is when the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam passed away. The Muslims started to panic. Some started to lose sight. Some said that they are no longer Muslim. Because if Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is not around, then what's the point? Umar ibn Khattab was found to be holding a sword and threatening the Muslims that whoever says that Muhammad is dead, I will cut off your neck. I don't want to hear that. The emotions. Sometimes we allow our emotions to get in the way of us thinking clearly as Muslims. Abu Bakr came and found him and reminded him and said من كان يعبد محمدا فإنه قد مات ومن كان يعبد الله فإنه حي لا يموت. Whoever worships Muhammad, then know that today Muhammad is dead. But whoever worships Allah, know that Allah is forever living and does not passes away, does not die, does not decease. Allah is Al-Hayy, unlike His creation. And just like how Allah is Al-Hayy, the message also will not die. Therefore, Muslims should get up on their feet to wake up, put their personal emotions aside and focus on that which is more important, to make sure that you do not lose grip of the baton that Allah has provided for us. When Umar ibn Khattab heard this message, he said, "You're right," recollected himself, and they continued and built a legacy that for years to come after, nobody could come and top. This is what? Keeping the vision what? Straight. The first part of maintaining the baton of Islam is keeping the vision straight. How many of us today is in our community? In our community, we need to do certain things for us to remain successful as Muslims. But then we allow our personal pride, we allow ego, tribalism, nationalism, racism, whatever it is, whatever all those different types of ignorance, to blind us from doing what we need to do. You know, as a Muslim brother, you do not have sufficient knowledge in the field, or you do not know enough Quran for you to be able to be teaching your children, and you need to go learn from someone else. But maybe your local Imam does not speak the same language as you. And therefore, from that point, you see that person not to be a viable option. This is not keeping the vision straight. When we start to discriminate each other based on race, based on language, based on skin color, based on finance. Because some of us, you know, mashallah, the watch you're wearing is a little bit bigger than those around you. That the watch you're wearing costs a couple of $100. That your paycheck, for some reason, you think in your mind that the check paper is bigger than the actual size of other paychecks. Therefore, when you are around your Muslim brothers, you feel as if they should not be communicating with you in a certain way. How dare you speak to me like that? Do you know how much money I make in a year? How dare you? We praying and you stepping on my toes. How dare you? Do you know who I am? And do you know who Allah is? Keep that in mind. For when the day comes that Allah has appointed for you, that your time in this world is over. No matter how rich, no matter how poor, no matter how tall, no matter how short, no matter how attractive, no matter how non-attractive, it is the same grade you will come and fill out. The sand that they will use to cover you is not going to be different from other people's sand. They don't have special sand made from gold reserved for those who are world over known. So if that is the case, why not view yourself to just be a humble slave of Allah and carry out the mission upon you? Keep the vision what? Straight. Don't let your personal feelings get in the way. If you know this needs to be done for the masjid to strive, for the community to strive, but you have personal issues with the brother, but you have personal issues with the sister, put that aside. When Medina was about to be sieged, the Muslims were quarreling among one another. But when the battle came, somebody that he was not speaking with and was fighting for a long time, they would join arms and go and defend themselves and go and defend the community. That is keeping the vision straight. So if as Muslims, we cannot keep our connections, if we cannot keep the very chain, the very links in between us, if we cannot maintain this and make it strong, what makes you think that we will be able to protect ourselves from the evil, from the other forces trying to break down the Muslims? If you can't save yourself, how can you save others? So my dear brothers and sisters, number one, keeping the vision what? Keeping the vision straight. Maintaining the vision, not losing sight of it. Putting your personal matters aside and focusing on what you need to do as a Muslim. Number two, benevolence in the community. This is a very important aspect, especially for those of us in where? New York City. Something that don't cross our minds a lot. Because I speak about this all the time. You know, New York City is a fast-paced city. Things move quickly. You go downtown and you look around, you just stop for a second and just look around. All you see are people just walking straight. They're not looking left, they're not looking right, they're just walking. Everybody has a destination to go through. You can slip and fall, people will walk over you and continue because they don't got time to worry about you. I'm late for an interview, I'm late for an appointment, I got a business meeting. Everybody is busy. But as a Muslim, you make time and understand what busy means for you. For others, busy is building a fortune for themselves here. But for a Muslim, busy is building a fortune for yourself in the Akhirah. For a Muslim, that is what busy means. I'm not saying don't conduct business. In fact, we need to conduct more business. I'm not saying don't go about your daily activities. In fact, we need to be engaging in more things. Look at where the future is going. Everything is automated now. I once had somebody come and complain to me, you know, the way this country is moving about, all the machines are taking our jobs. All the jobs that we used to do, now the machines are taking over. I asked the person, who's making the machines? Who's making the technological programming that will let the machines automatically know what to do? Because these machines don't have a mind. They're programmed to do something. Who's creating those programs? Who's maintaining those machines? Then make sure you're there. If you need to go and study IT, you need to go and study computer science, whatever it is. If you know that's the field you want to dominate, then you go in there. And as a Muslim, it should be known that once we enter the spot, we come to change the game. Once a Muslim is around, things should not remain the same. And this is one of the main things that is bothering us as Muslims. If you look into history, from the time of the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, wherever they went, the community would flourish because they had brotherhood, because they kept the vision straight, because they kept benevolence in the community. They did not focus only among themselves. They would bless others with the mercy that Allah has blessed them. How many of us relay the message of Islam to other people? Today we keep Islam only in the four corners of the masjid. During the time of the Prophet, if they have done that too, and Islam only stayed among Masjid Nabawi, will we become Muslims today? Will we have been blessed with the opportunity to be Muslims today? So my brothers and sisters in Islam, benevolence in the community. Our presence should be felt. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ used to give and give and give until he had no more. And people would say, what man is this? You know, because being good doesn't require a religion to come tell you to be good. We have people who are not Muslims, but they're good people. But what man is this that he continues to be good even when there is nothing in it for himself? No, this must not be a normal person. Indeed, there must be something special about him. This was indirect da'wah. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ would donate and donate until the person would feel like this is just, it's not normal. The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ came and forgave the same city, the same Mecca that threatened and always wanted to kill him for what he was trying to preach. After they had taken control over the city, he could do whatever he wanted to do with them. They killed his family members, they killed his companions, they tortured them, boycotted them, did so many things. But at the end of the day, he came and forgave them. Benevolence in the community. So us Muslims, when we are around, our presence should be felt. When there's a problem going on and they hear that a Muslim is there, then they should know that the Muslim will take care of it. But today, we have Muslims who are being the ones to be the cause of the problem. If we keep this up, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will take the baton away from us. And the way that you enjoy Islam today, things may not remain the same. And there will come a day when you will start to say, man, I wish when I used to go and pray Jummah and I had to worry about anything. So if we are in this blessing today, let us take advantage and do what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala needs from us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala make it possible. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give us the strength and the knowledge to do so. Benevolence in the community. Because the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was just a man. He was not an angel. He was not some superhuman being like in the comic books or in the movies. He was just a man. وَلَوْ جَعَلْنَاهُ مَلَكًا لَجَعَلْنَاهُ رَجُلًا وَلَلَبَسْنَا عَلَيْهِمْ مَا يَلْبِسُونَ. But it was Islam that Allah gave his heart and made him the perfect example of what it means to be a Muslim, that allowed him to achieve the success he made, to have the impact he had on his community. And if we follow this example, tell me where can we go wrong? So if things are not right for us as Muslims, then we need to check ourselves. Where am I going wrong? What am I doing right now? Would the Prophet allow that? Would the Prophet agree to that? A lot of my students, teenagers, they come and ask me questions, you know, because as Muslims, we're always trying to find excuses to do what we want to do. Instead of saying, what does Islam say? We say, no, this is what I'm saying, but I want to know if it's haram or if it's halal. We always find little excuses. We want tricks, back doors and stuff to be able to do what we want to do. So they will come and ask me, you know, I want to be a model. Is it haram? I want to be a cheerleader. Is that haram? This and that. I say, you have a brain. So let me ask you a question, and then maybe you will find the answer for yourself. If the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was alive today, and you ask him that question, what do you think his answer would be? Automatically they say no. I say, if you know he would say no, then why ask anybody else? Now the issue is not always black and white. Sometimes the specific circumstance you can be in, especially providing that we're in the West. We don't live in a Muslim state. So some certain issues will depend on where you are and the time you are in. But for the most part, it is clear. And if we do not hold on to that which is clear, then again, the baton will be taken away from us. So now the question is, as Muslims, what are we doing? What are we doing to make sure we are holding on to this legacy? So number one was what? Keeping the vision straight. Number two, benevolence in the community. Uthman ibn Shayba, during a battle, his whole life, his purpose in life was to kill the Prophet, was to kill Muhammad so that the Quraysh can have a peace of mind. And he had his chance in the battlefield. Prophet Muhammad was in front of him with his back to him, and he raised his sword and he was about to strike his neck. Then the Prophet Muhammad turned around and looked at him. And when he looked at him, he said, when the Prophet looked at me, immediately I dropped my sword. I couldn't move. Then the Prophet came to him and touched his heart. No, first the Prophet told him, come closer, O old man. Come closer. And when he came, the Prophet touched his heart and prayed to Allah, Oh Allah, a'idhu min ash-shaytan. Save him from how shaitan is bothering him. And from that moment, he said the love of the Prophet that built up in his heart, even if his own father was to come and attempt to kill the Prophet, he would kill his own father just to save the Prophet. From a matter of seconds, from having the main purpose of your whole life was to kill him, to loving him more than anything in the whole world. That was Prophet Muhammad. That was Islam. Benevolence in the community. And the question is again, what are we doing to maintain this legacy? How are we having this effect on people? Benevolence on those who are not fortunate as you. Benevolence on your environment, on animals. As Muslims, we should be environmentally friendly. A Muslim should not be seen throwing trash on the ground. You finish eating and you throw it on the ground. That's not how Islam taught us. Wallah, I remember one of my friends, we went out, and he was a person that likes to attend various type of events. He once attended an event, and the sheikh was talking about how Muslims should be kind to people, should be kind to the environment, take care of the environment. So he knows about this. I finished eating and I throw it on the floor. My friend says to me, wait, I thought Muslims are not supposed to do that. Isn't that harming the environment? Subhanallah, a non-Muslim reminding me of my own deen. This is the state we have reached. I once heard somebody say, today the atheists speak more about God than the Muslims themselves. Because for a Muslim, you think that once you're praying, that's it, you go about your daily life. But for an atheist, they don't want to accept that there is such thing as God, so they spend all the time debating, online, watching videos, questions, God this. So they end up speaking more about God than we do ourselves as Muslims. So since then, I promised myself I would never throw something on the ground. Even if I'm walking fast and I throw it into the garbage can and it falls, it feels heavy upon me, I must return and pick it up and put it in the trash. If I'm walking and you know how sometimes the wind can knock the trash can down and it's blocking the way of the people, I need to fix it back up. I cannot walk over it and continue to be like everybody else. No, I am a Muslim. So I must therefore be different. Benevolence in the community. So wherever Muslims find themselves, we must be the ones who would change the environment. If Muslims live in Harlem, Harlem should be different due to the Muslims. If Muslims are in the Bronx should not remain the same due to the Muslims. Brooklyn, Queens, Long Island, New York City, as long as there are Muslims there practicing the deen, then things should not remain the same. As we have seen in the past, that Muslims have proved to come. But we can only do this if we hold on to the kitab of Allah. And that we do not become like the people who ruled Spain for 600 years, but then lost sight of the vision and stop being benevolent in the community and stop promoting excellence and did what they wanted to do. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala take the baton away from them. So my brothers and sisters, the baton is now in our hands. What are we going to do? What example are we setting for the Muslim youth? Do we want them to be good, or do you want them to be the best? Islam always teaches us, no matter what the situation is, you can have a good choice and you can have the best choice. Always go for the best. That is what it means to be a Muslim. May Allah Ta'ala make us like those people. May Allah Ta'ala make us the best version of ourselves. May Allah Ta'ala give us the wisdom and the knowledge to be able to carry on this task. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. الحمد لله الحمد لله الحمد لله القائل له معقبات من بين يديه ومن خلفه يحفظونه من أمر الله إن الله لا يغير ما بقوم حتى يغيروا ما بأنفسهم وإذا أراد الله بقوم سوءا فلا مرد له وما له من دونه من وال. Alhamdulillah, today we spoke about the legacy of Islam. The legacy that Islam has left behind until it has fallen upon us, and how what we must do what is necessary to ensure the continual progress and success of the Muslim Ummah as long as the baton is with us, and that the baton of Islam has been passed down from generation to generation. Every generation produces somebody that will revive the deen and ensure its continuance. And in our generation, the question is, what are we going to do to revive the deen? Are we going to be among those who will sit at the sidelines and watch things go astray? Or are we going to get up and produce and be creative and come up with ways that we can ensure that we can propagate the deen correctly, to ensure that others will be able to hear this message, to ensure that the Islam does not remain in the four corners of the masjid. That is the topic of the day. There is a question that I like to ask. We all know how great the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam was. We all know how great the companions were. But then who was the best of the best after the companions? The best of the best after the companions was a man who went by the name of Uwais ibn Amir. Uwais ibn Amir. He was the best of the best after the companions. But did you know what made him the best? He was not some huge scholar who produced hundreds of volumes of books. He was not somebody that traveled the world and made a huge difference on a global level. All he did was two things. One, from his young age to his old age, he remained dutiful to his mother. He never played with his mother. Subhanallah, who thought that this would be a thing that would make you among the best, to be able to compare you with the likes of the companions of the Prophet? Number one, he remained dutiful to his parents. How many of the Muslim youth know about this man? That he became great just because he remained obedient and dutiful to his mother. Number two, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala blessed him with, he would share with others. Whatever he had. When he had food, he would not stay in the house with the food. He would go out, those who needed food, he would give them. Every single day. He had clothes, any extra clothes he didn't need to wear, had a few pairs of pants, a few shirts, a few hats, that's all he needed. He would give the rest to those who need. And he was consistent. This is the key. He was consistent in his good action. As a Muslim, how consistent you are is very important. Wallahi, it is better for you as a Muslim to pray only 2 rak'ah before you go to sleep every single day than for just only one day you wake up in the middle of the night and pray like 50 rak'ats. Because if that is the thing that you can only do for only one day, then Allah Ta'ala would prefer the continuous, consistent action that you do. For that will continue to generate more rewards for you and shows your dedication, and shows how serious, and shows how much you love Allah, and shows how much you understand what you need to do as a Muslim. Consistency. And this is all part of the third thing required, and my last point. The third thing required from the Muslim Ummah to maintain the baton of Islam. Promoting and exemplifying excellence. The Muslim should be excellent. The Muslim should not be average, should not be just good, should not be very good. The Muslim should be excellent. We must exemplify this behavior by doing it ourselves and promoting it to others, encouraging others to also become excellent. So what were the 3 things? 1, keeping the vision what? Straight. 2, benevolence in the community. And 3, exemplifying and promoting excellence. If we hold on to these 3 principles and hold on to the kitab of Allah and the sunnah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, inshallah, with the promise of Allah, as Allah Ta'ala has promised himself in the Quran, you shall never go astray. Allah Ta'ala will continue to guide us. May Allah Ta'ala continue to guide us. May Allah Ta'ala guide the youth. If you are able to do this, we will build a huge example and a huge legacy that the Muslim youth will be able to look up to and aspire to become. Because we all want the Muslim youth to come and become better than us. If they fall short or become the same, there was no progress. They need to come and become better. So we need to raise the bar and make sure that the Muslim youth succeed and exemplify and carry on this legacy. May Allah Ta'ala make things easy for us. Part of this benevolence in the community, like I said, not allowing discrimination or any type of ignorance or any type of distractions from shaitan from allowing you to carry on what you need to do as Muslims. So when they say fi sabilillah, please donate and donate generously. Please donate and donate what? Generously. Don't hold back. This again, I always say this. You do not know when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call you your final call. You do not know when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will call you to come and answer your final test. I always tell my students, I say, look over there, did you see that? They say, no, we didn't see nothing. I said, that was the angel of death looking at you. He's waiting. When Allah Ta'ala gives him the go ahead, it's over. So what are we doing? To build for ourselves a good future in the akhirah. Like I said, other people, they're busy to build a fortune in dunya. For us, we busy to build a fortune where? In the akhirah. May Allah Ta'ala make it so. May Allah Ta'ala make things easy for us. Those of us dealing with individual struggles, you know what you are dealing with. May Allah Ta'ala make things easy for you. May Allah Ta'ala bless our families. Those of us who have lost our loved ones, may Allah Ta'ala have mercy on their souls. May Allah Ta'ala make things easy for them in the grave. And those of us who are still alive, may Allah Ta'ala make our losses become lessons for us. To know that this dunya is temporary and we must prepare for what is coming next. May Allah Ta'ala bless the Muslim youth, guide them and increase them in knowledge. May Allah Ta'ala bless us all as a Muslim ummah. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار وادخلنا الجنة مع الأبرار يا عزيز يا غفار يا رب العالمين. اللهم إنا نسألك علما نافعا ورزقا حلالا واسعا طيبا وعملا متقبلا نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. اللهم صل على نبينا محمد وعلى آل محمد كما صليت على إبراهيم وعلى آل إبراهيم إنك حميد مجيد. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. أقم الصلاة.
الله أكبر الله أكبر أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله أشهد أن محمد رسول الله حي على الصلاة حي على الفلاح قد قامت الصلاة قد قامت الصلاة الله أكبر الله أكبر لا إله إلا الله.
If your cell phones are still on, please turn it off or put it on silent and make space for those who are coming in from the back. Jazakumullah khair. Stow. Allahu Akbar. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. وكأي من قرية عتت عن أمر ربها ورسله فحاسبناها حسابا شديدا وعذبناها عذابا نكرا فذاقت وبال أمرها وكان عاقبة أمرها خسرا أعد الله لهم عذابا شديدا فاتقوا الله يا أولي الألباب الذين آمنوا قد أنزل الله إليكم ذكرا رسولا يتلو عليكم آيات الله مبينات ليخرج الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات من الظلمات إلى النور ومن يؤمن بالله ويعمل صالحا يدخله جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار خالدين فيها أبدا قد أحسن الله له رزقا الله الذي خلق 7 سماوات ومن الأرض مثلهن يتنزل الأمر بينهن لتعلموا أن الله على كل شيء قدير وأن الله قد أحاط بكل شيء علما. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. قل أي شيء أكبر شهادة قل الله شهيد بيني وبينكم وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن لأنذركم به ومن بلغ أئنكم لتشهدون أن مع الله آلهة أخرى قل لا أشهد قل إنما هو إله واحد وإنني بريء مما تشركون. الله أكبر. سمع الله لمن حمده. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. الله أكبر. Allahu Akbar. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala accept our prayers. Fi sabilillah. Please donate and donate generously. Jazakumullah khair. Assalamu alaikum.
Just be patient. Sabilillah, 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 sabilillah. The masjid need your help, please. Sabilillah, sabilillah, sabilillah for the masjid. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah, sabilillah. The masjid needs your donation, please. Thank you. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Thank you. Thank you. Sabilillah, make a donation for the masjid, please. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Don't forget the masjid. Don't forget the masjid. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Sabilillah. Thank you. Sabilillah, sabilillah. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Wait, lady. Wait. You know, traffic is heavy. We have bread here. Anybody want to take some bread? We have bread to the other side. Anybody want to eat food? We have a lot of food to eat. Donation for the masjid, please. Fisabilillah, fisabilillah. We need your donation, please. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Make a donation for the masjid, please. Thank you so much. I want you to go the same day. What day you guys? What day? Hey, how are you doing? One day. Hey, after him. Yeah. Thank you so much. After you guys. Alright, we good. Just after me. Yeah, exactly. You go there, you can watch it. Sorry for that. Fisabilillah, make a donation for the masjid, please. Fisabilillah, fisabilillah. We need your donation, please. Thank you so much. Thank you. Fisabilillah, fisabilillah. Thank you so much.
My student, he have school.
Thank you so much. How you going, man?
Oh, okay. Okay, inshallah.
Make a donation for the masjid, please. Donation for the masjid, please. Fisabilillah, fisabilillah. Fisabilillah, make a donation for the masjid, please. Yeah, you can watch it again here. Anybody who want to watch it again, this is the website.
What time, Sheikh?
I'm sorry?
What time?
No, anytime. You search the YouTube, you follow this. You want to watch it again? YouTube, search to YouTube, Google. You know YouTube. Then you put K. And easy. It's gonna pull up. But not now. You don't put upload it yet.
Get back to where I'm going to be.
Thank you. Allah do what you guys. Make a donation for the masjid, please. We need your donation, please. Fisabilillah, fisabilillah. Fisabilillah, we need your donation, please. Make a donation for the masjid. Thank you so much, brother. May Allah reward you guys. Wa alaikum salam. Ça va bien? You bring $100?
My daddy some say
I want $100.
no, he said you have a bread, you have a lot of food. He said, "Where got the bread? From cabbage in America. We need this one."
We need money, right?
Yeah, we need like
But the money doesn't. Yeah, he gets it over the terrible. Oui. Mais je lui demande $100 quoi.
Ouais.
Ça fait maintenant presque